Children are still ending up in Bay Area nursing homes even after a judge ruled it shouldn't happen, leaving parents with no other choice.
Every parent should be given every service that that parent needs so that parent can be a parent.
I'm investigator Brittany Muller. Why is this still happening?
Good evening, I'm Jennifer Lee.
And I'm Keith Kate. Thank you for joining us tonight. Florida children are still being taken from their families and sent to live in nursing homes. But now a federal judge has ordered the state to change the way it treats children with complex medical needs.
For years, the state has ordered that some disabled children must be placed in nursing homes rather than providing care and support for them to remain at home with their families. But now a judge has determined Florida's policy violates the Americans with Disabilities Act.
8 on your side, investigator Brittany Muller joining us now live with the story. Brittany.
Keith, Jen, good evening. Records show about 140 children are currently living inside nursing homes in Pinellas and Broward counties. But why is this? It all boils down to money. You expect to see elderly people in nursing homes, but not children.
The neurologist wanted me to basically, at my age, he said, you need to sign your children away to me, have me put them in a facility that I run.
Tori Mueller adopted 7-year-old Sebastian and 12-year-old Hazel when they were babies. They both have a genetic neurological disorder, so the doctor wanted to institutionalize them.
There's not going to be anything that you can do with these children. These children are basically ruined.
Kids with medically complex needs have long been placed inside adult nursing homes throughout Florida. The Justice Department investigated and found the State Agency for Healthcare Administration pays these facilities an extra $500 per day per child, which is double the rate it receives from the state to serve elderly people. When you came across this back in 2012, was it shocking to you that kids, medically fragile kids, were being placed in nursing homes?
They were being warehoused in nursing homes, and the reason why was more shocking. The reason why is the state wouldn't provide the parents the services they needed at home in order to keep their kids at home.
The state was first sued over this issue by attorney Matthew Dietz in 2012. He represented 9 families whose kids were placed in these facilities by the state. Of the 9 families that you represented, how many were based here in the Tampa Bay area?
I had 2 based in the Tampa Bay area, and once we represented them, they were able to get the services that they needed in order to get out of the nursing home.
One of those kids is Andy. Andy died shortly after he got out of the home.
The mom continues to speak to me to this day and says that the greatest blessing that she ever had was the ability to care for her child for that brief amount of time in her home and with her family.
1,800 more kids are considered at risk of being institutionalized.
I am their advocate. I'm their parent. I'm the one that stands up for them because nobody else will. That's my job to do that. I am not about to let my children just go and be in a facility that they don't even belong in.
The U.S. Department of Justice later got involved in the fight. After a 12-year legal battle, a federal judge ruled Florida was in violation of the Americans with Disabilities Act, saying the state forced kids into nursing homes to live segregated lives against their parents' wishes.
The court found in a long decision that the state was systemically denying these children their rights to live out in the community.
The judge appointed a monitor who's in the process of developing policies and procedures for better record keeping. The monitor recently released this report.
What was notable in the monitor's finding was the fact that the state didn't quite realize the harm that comes to families when private duty nursing services are not provided.
So the state rather put vulnerable children in these facilities than provide a private home nurse to keep the child at home. Dietz says the report also found the parents of the 140 kids who are still in nursing homes don't have adequate housing. For a child to be in a nursing home, he says it costs about $1,000 a day.
It is so much cheaper to provide a subsidy, a grant, a voucher for housing so these families can afford to live in decent housing so they can have their children at home rather than the state wasting millions of dollars putting these children up in essentially a hospital ward.
Matthew Dietz says every parent should be given every service they need to be a parent.
So how is the state responding to this federal judge's ruling?
Well, the judge ordered the state to provide at least 90% of the private duty nursing hours necessary to care for the kids who are transitioned out of the nursing homes and back into their communities. But the state is now fighting back, asking an appellate judge to block the federal judge's ruling, saying it would be impossible to find enough private nurses needed to care for these children. And of course, we'll be following this very closely and let you know once a decision is made.
All right.
All right. Thank you, Brittany. And if you have something that you want Brittany to investigate, call our 8 on Your Side helpline at 1-800-338-0808.